أحبائنا الأعزاء، بنحب نرحب بيكم مرة تانية في برنامجكم علاجك في بيتك. بنحب نرحب بدكتور جويس معانا هنا في الاستوديو. أهلا وسهلا بيكي. أحبائي، النهاردة هنتكلم عن موضوع بيهمنا كلنا، لأنه كلنا بناكل وكلنا حابين نعرف أكتر عن الطبيعة والحاجات اللي بناكلها وإزاي نعالج نفسنا منها وإزاي ما نحتاجش لعلاج من الأساس. النهاردة هنتكلم عن التغذية، والفقرة النهاردة بتاعتنا هنتخصص في أكتر من مجال في التغذية. الفكرة إنه نتعلم إزاي ناكل وإيه اللي لازم ناكله وإيه اللي لازم ناخد بالنا وإحنا بناكله. حابين أكتر نعودكم دايما على إنه أول حاجة محتاجين نعملها نشوف ربنا عايزنا نكون في أي وضع، وتاني حاجة عايزين نعرف إزاي إحنا نساعد ده ونكون بنعمل الجزء اللي علينا في إن إحنا نتغذى بطريقة سليمة. النهاردة حابة أسأل دكتور جويس معانا إزاي بقى موضوع الأكل ده هيكون مؤثر جدا في حياتنا. إيه هو الأكل؟
What should we eat, right?
إيه هو الأكل بالنسبة لنا؟
Well, a good answer to that question is to look back at God's original diet that He gave Adam and Eve. Mm-hmm. So we can find that in the first book of the Bible, in Genesis, and it tells us that He gave them a diet of fruits, seeds, nuts, and grains.
ممتاز. طيب ده النظام الغذائي في الوقت اللي كان ممتاز، كل حاجة فيه ممتازة، ده الوقت الكامل. طب بالنسبة لدلوقتي إحنا مش نفس التوقيت.
True, and actually God, if you read on, you find in Genesis 3 that God increased their diet to include herbs of the field. So we call those vegetables and leafy greens. Those kinds of things were added because of sin. We needed those things to keep us healthy.
طيب بالنسبة للتغذية، هي خضار وفاكهة ومكسرات وحبوب. عايزين نعرف إيه هو المغذي في الحاجات اللي إحنا قلناها دلوقتي.
Well, the fruit and vegetable kingdom contains many of the vitamins and minerals that we need, and also has something called phytochemicals and antioxidants that fight cancers and keep us healthy. And so those things include that. Our nuts and seeds have a lot of what we call omega-3 oils, which are good for us. Omega-6 is good too, but we just eat too many of those. And so those help our skin to stay nice and our heart to work well and our arteries to stay open. And they also contain protein for the building blocks of all of our tissues. It's interesting too that the nuts and seeds, because of the omega-3 oils, actually reduce the bad kind of cholesterol that we get. So they have an extra benefit, and besides, they taste good.
طب إيه هو، أنت حضرتك ذكرتي دلوقتي الألياف، إيه هي الألياف دي؟
الياف, fiber is very important to our diet, and besides the nuts and seeds and the fruits and vegetables, another food group that has a lot of fiber are the legumes, all the bean family, the lentils, and every kind of bean you can imagine. They also are a good source of protein, and they help lower our cholesterol as well. And they can actually give us enough protein that we don't need animal products.
طيب زي ما حضرتك ذكرتي دلوقتي المأكولات اللحم أو المأكولات الحيوانية، إمتى ابتدى يكون لنا الفرصة كإنسان ناكل المأكولات دي؟
Well, if we look again in the scriptures, we find that after the flood, there weren't a lot of plants. They were all destroyed. And so that is when God allowed mankind to start eating animal products, animal foods.
طيب لو كان ده البداية بتاعة اللحوم، هنقدر نعرف دلوقتي أكتر في الوقت اللي احنا موجودين فيه، موجود فيه عندنا دلوقتي نباتات، فعندنا الأفضلية تكون من النبات والمصدر النباتي، لأنه ده هيكون أصح أكتر من البروتين العالي من اللحوم.
That's true. And if we again look at the scriptures and look at what happened after men started to eat meat, it's very interesting as far as our lifespan. If we look at the age of Adam, he lived 938. It's hard for me to read small print.
Yeah.
And Methuselah lived almost 1,000 years. But after the flood, we see a serious decline. It was cut in about half their age. And then it kept declining from 600 to 400 years and 200 years. And then finally we come to the time of David, and he was 70 years. I mean, he said many of us live 70 years if we're lucky. So, and if we look around the world, that's, between 70 and 80 years is the lifespan that we have now. So that's sort of continued up until this day. So
حضرتك عايز تقول لنا دلوقتي انه لو رجعنا للنظام القديم هنوصل لوقت زي ما كان آدم بيوصل 930 سنة مثلا؟
Well, I don't think we could live that long, but what can happen is that we can reverse a lot of our chronic diseases that we have here today. For instance, type 2 diabetes is easily, for most people, if they haven't had it too long, if they get on an exercise program, lose some weight, and eat differently, many times that can actually reverse and stay reversed as long as they're on the program. So food has a lot to do with that reversal. Also heart disease, many of the cholesterol problems that plug up our arteries can be reversed by changing our diet to a plant-based diet. High blood pressure, the same with exercise, losing weight, and changing the diet, getting more fruits and vegetables that allow the part of our vessels that helps it to open and close. It helps our blood pressure. That can also change just from our dietary change. So, and of course, obesity is another problem we have today. And of course, that's all about food too. And so helping people stay feeling satisfied with what they eat, with all the fiber that's in the plant foods, this is a good way to help somebody who's obese, because we don't want to make them hungry. And if they put them on a diet, if you can only eat so much of this and only eat so much of that, it's very discouraging for anyone who's trying to lose weight, because they're always hungry. And so once they lose that weight and they get off the diet, what happens? They gain it all back and more, because their metabolism has been lowered because of them starving themselves. And the body's trying to conserve energy, and so it messes people up. Whereas if they would change what they were eating and put into practice some of the other things we're going to talk about, it would just change their life, really.
تمام.
So,
طيب تقدري تدينا فكرة ايه ازاي يكون طبقنا شكله او ازاي يكون اكلنا؟
so if we could imagine a plate, half of it would be fruits and vegetables. Some of it fresh, and some of it can be cooked as well. A quarter of it would be whole grains of some kind. Brown rice, bread with a lot of whole grains, perhaps some pasta that's whole grain pasta, those kinds of things. And maybe whole seeds like in Egypt we eat balila, that's a whole grain, and shufan, and those kinds of things are whole grain. So that would be a quarter. And then the other one would be your protein foods, which you can have all from the plant food kingdom. You can have lentils, beans, nuts and seeds, but not too many, just a handful. Those kinds of things. And if you look at that plate, you can see that they have lots of fiber. So it's one thing that fiber does for you is make you feel satisfied. And these foods also, unless you're adding a lot of oil, these foods too have hardly any calories. So you're feeling satisfied, but you're not getting a lot of calories that are going to make you gain weight. And another thing that fiber does is keep your digestion working well, so that people get problems in their colon. If they change their diet, at first they might experience some gas or something like that, but it's just because of the change. And if they keep at it, they're going to find that actually their intestines will work better, feel better. All the problems that they had before with stomach aches and this kind of thing usually disappear after a few weeks on on a plant-based diet.
وحضرتك قلت لنا كمان في مرات مختلفة انه ممكن الالياف دي كمان بتمتص الدهون الزايدة اللي في جسمنا وبتساعدنا على ان احنا ممكن نقلل وزننا الزايد.
It's very true, and so that's another benefit. Just collects that extra fat, and even the cholesterol can go down because of changing the diet to a high fiber diet.
يعني الموضوع بس تغيير بسيط في نظام أكلنا ممكن يحسن كمان من الشكل العام أو حتى الشكل الخارجي كمان لجسمنا. طيب خلينا نعرف أكتر عن الموضوع، بين إزاي نغير الطبق بتاعنا من اللي إحنا متعودين عليه للطبق اللي حضرتك بتوصفيه لنا.
Well, you mean more than talk about that half of our plate should be fruits and vegetables, and so how do we do this? Well, I like to suggest people start adding things to what food they eat and before they start taking things away. So in other words, eat more vegetables, eat more fruits, eat more whole grains, eat more legumes and beans and this kind of thing. And as you start adding those things to your diet, some of the other things will just normally fall away because now you're enjoying plant foods better. And by the way, just mention about where does fiber come from. It's not in the animal kingdom. Dietary fiber is just not there. And so if we want fiber, which is good for all of those healthy reasons we talked about, we have to eat a lot of plant foods because that's the only place we're going to get fiber. And by the way, plant foods have no cholesterol. They have some fats, usually the good fats, but it's the animal kingdom that has excess cholesterol, the saturated fats that harm our heart, and no LEF to help.
زي ما حضرتك عودتينا انه لو نستبدل الاكل اللي احنا متعودين ناكله سواء لحوم او منتجاتها باكل نباتي، ده هيكون بيساعدنا اكتر للحصول على صحة افضل وكمان وزن مثالي.
Yes, of course. It will definitely give us a benefit, a better health, and slowly losing weight. It's not a fast thing, and that helps people's skin to keep up with the weight loss. Sometimes these very harsh diets where they lose a lot of weight at once, their skin starts to sag and their face changes, and they prefer themselves looking the way they looked before because of that. So it's a slow loss because it's a lifestyle change. And that way the weight doesn't come back on.
صحيح.
And that's exactly what we encourage people to do.
صحيح. أنا عن نفسي شخصيا جربتها في خلال سنة، يمكن المدة بتكون أطول، بس الواحد بيوصل للوزن المثالي بتاعه بطريقة صحية، ما بيأثرش على بشرته بشكل سلبي أو ما بيأثرش على قوته أو كفاءته في الأداء في أي وظيفة حياتية كمان. دي أحب نقول لكل المشاهدين كمان يجربوا الطريقة دي وأكيد هتعمل معهم نتيجة. ودلوقتي